My name's Leigh-Anna. I'm 24 years old and I work as a paralegal full-time and go to law school part-time. I live in Brooklyn, New York, and I'm originally from the San Francisco Bay Area. Today I'd like to talk about culture. As a white woman from the US, I didn't grow up knowing a ton about my heritage and didn't even really engage in cultural practices with my family. However, when I became an adult and moved out of my parents' home, I made it a goal of mine to engage with and immerse myself in as many cultures as possible. This started in college when I chose to study abroad as early as my second semester of my freshman year. I lived, studied, and interned in Nicaragua and Costa Rica, living with host families in both countries. I worked at a women's advocacy nonprofit that provided psychological services to rural women and children. Once I saw what gender and oppression meant to those women in their cultural context, I chose to major in global studies, learning even more about cultures and flows of power worldwide. This took the form of conferences, classes, personal travel, and my own capstone research. As a young professional, I am always hungry to learn more about and share cultures from around the world. A huge issue that I'm witnessing in the world today is the spread of misinformation and unwillingness to engage with other cultures because of fear and stereotypes. For example, the crisis in Palestine comes from widespread social ignorance and incorrect perceptions that people have about people in Gaza. Many claim that they're stateless and have no culture or indigenous identity when they in fact have a rich and vibrant culture and their own traditions dating back decades that have been violently erased by colonial powers who sought to villainize them as a means to obtain their land. There are numerous examples of this state-sanctioned violence around the world that I can go on about. However, I believe in being solution and conversation-minded. It's what's most important in these difficult times. The greatest power not only comes in numbers, but in individual conversations. Speaking up about injustice and giving young people a platform to do so, like AFYN does, is the first step in advocacy. Collaborating with one another on calls to action, effective grassroots advocacy, and furthering cultural education by uplifting the stories of oppressed groups, like the Palestinians, is our best defense and response to violence and misinformation. I promise to contribute my voice authentically to AFYN and ask the difficult questions about culture that don't make it into our history books. Language, art, and music are beautiful and necessary parts of any cultural identity, but understanding loss and injustice is equally as important. I plan to prompt myself and others during my time in South Korea to think critically in this way. Thank you so much.